Hey, friends, we are fearless. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Frances Young, and you are here on the season 5 wrap up of this Fearless Life podcast. Thank you for returning for one more episode. Yes, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube and not just listening to the recording on multiple streaming platforms, I am in my robe. It's Sunday morning. Apparently, I have to clear my throat about it, and it is the winter solstice as I record this episode. It is the shortest day of 2025, and it feels purposeful that I am recording this episode on this day, even though you're listening to it post the winter solstice, to have a reflection for what was a season on this podcast that I just did what I wanted to do and didn't really pick a theme, which I think is interesting for 2025 and the reflection of my life. Throughout each season that I've done so far, there's always been a wrap-up episode. I'm kind of pushing myself right now to just get this episode out, to just be like, okay, we did it. We put a little bow around it for Christmas. Gold star. Good job, Fran. That's how I internally feel about this right now. I can't just leave us hanging here before the end of 2025 goes without some more personal reflection said very vulnerably to the internet. That's also just who I am. So, to note, and anyone that knows me, I'm very stickler on finishing what I start. What I'm going to say in this moment before we do the full wrap up as well is we're not closing down This Fearless Life podcast, but we are putting it on an actual pause. As I go through this wrap up, you're going to realize I've done a lot of things on this podcast. I'm very proud of it. I love being able to say to somebody new or somebody that doesn't know what human design is, or just I haven't mentioned that I have a podcast. I'm like, hey, I do this thing on the side that I love. I do love this thing. A little self-infatuation. I do love the sound of my voice, regardless. I love this thing. I love that it's a tool. I love that I have free information for humans about who I am, about conversations that I care about. And right now, we've got some other stuff to focus on. So we're just putting this podcast on the back burner, but not actually shutting it down, which feels correct. What happened in season 5? Season 5 was me testing out 2 new things. I wanted to give the people that have access to me, or as they find me, as they find human design knowledge on the internet, let alone in the world, is that there are very tangible steps to starting to pick apart your design, starting to understand it, starting to maybe experiment with this idea that we are very different animals, even if we feel similar to others, as to how we move about our day and bring the things into our life that our soul desires. Because I have a niche in health and fitness, and I am a healer, I wanted to very specifically give, in a very condensed manner, how does each energy type in human design approach fitness? This is one of the biggest questions I get asked, let alone if I start talking to somebody about human design, this is where I tend to go because this is what I'm most obsessed with what this system gives us in our freedom to explore ourselves for what we want to do with our physical, energetic body every single day. There are 5 episodes of how does each human design energy type approach their fitness routine. It's short, it's sweet. Go check them out. I love those episodes. Then I have 3 episodes with 3 women in my life that I feel very blessed to know. And I just had to have them recorded live with me, shooting the shit, trying to answer questions, trying to follow a storyline, but also just seeing what unfolded. Kira Milan, you are everyone's fairy godmother. I love you. Deanna, I'm always at a loss for words of just being like, holy shit, you're amazing. I'm so blessed to have you as a already dear friend in my life, as well as your family alongside me. And Angelica, we're just going to keep having this beautiful little intertwined life with each other forever. That's what I believe. These three women have very different designs. They have, let's also say, energies, but they're living their life. Still somewhat not sure what's going to come around the corner, but with talking to them, showing them what their actual design says to them, giving them their own reassurance, just like I have felt human design has given my own reassurance on my own life and what I am doing, how I am doing it, was again another eye-opening piece for how I'm never going to get tired of this system, how I'm never going to get tired of speaking it to the world. It just makes me excited in this moment on the couch being like, there is purpose in the world for me. Honestly, that's what it's given me. What were some of the best moments of season? Probably laughing in the three very distinct female conversations I had with Kira, Deanna, and Angelica. We had our first baby on the podcast. Angelica's 8-month going on 9-month-old daughter, Scarlett, was on the podcast, as well as her grandmother, Valerie, who is my flamenco dance teacher. It was a whole family affair. And that was just so special. A favorite moment that kind of happened separate, but also just happened because of the podcast episode. I was so flattered. Deanna's husband, Alex, very scientific, cut straight, just does things the way that he feels they're supposed to be. We were interacting. He was explaining to people in his life in front of me what human design was, post listening to my conversation with Deanna, and I could see he believed that there is some validity to the system that is human design. And I thought to myself, one, I'm so flattered. Two, oh my God, it makes sense to humans that may not in the moment when they first think about it would believe that something like this is tangible to take and run with if they want to. It's just a system. It's just a knowledge. It hit home because since I have learned what human design is, in my own being, it feels like it's the biggest struggle to believe in something that is not seen. It is unseen. It is a feeling. It is an intuition to listen to your gut if you're a generator. It is an intuition to listen to the cycles of the moon and all the patterns that come up for you as a reflector. It is not taught in school or by our parents that this is something that is important to use in our life. When someone gets it and then explains it to somebody else that I taught, I give myself a high five and I high-fived Alex. Thank you so much. And I can't wait for you to listen to the fact that I said this to the world. Kira and I just laughed our asses off. And I'm also really proud that the best moment of this season could also be the fact that, one, I'm still here trying to do a wrap up because I love doing this so much, even though I'm not really sure where it's ever going to lead me. And two, it's on a really special day of the year. The winter solstice is a moment where finally we get to see some light coming in. As much as it's the darkest day, we know that the next day is a little bit longer. I'm going to get into self-reflection at the very end because y'all know you just want to know what's on the inside of my brain and what's happened to me since the other self-reflection episode at the end of baseball season. and the Blue Jays going for the World Series. Go back to that episode. It was pretty fun. One other thing I wanted to just mention in this, pulling up my phone and my notes, in this episode is an interesting reminder that I do have some most asked questions from humans that I speak to about human design. People need to know what human design is. The most asked question out there. Human design, or your human design, is the description of you. It's the description of why you do what you do, how you wake up in the morning, all of the things that make you as a human, you. It describes why you think the way you do, and all of the things that we can use in any other type of language and self-personality diagnosis. It is that, just another explanation of it. So if you're tired of trying to figure out what Enneagram you are, that, your zodiac signs only describe so much, your destiny, where your North Node is going in your astrology, only feels like it helps you so much, I highly suggest that you go to my website, find your energy type for free, hit me up, Google it, whatever you want to do, you'll find your way. But you can look at yourself in a very simplistic way. What does my energy want to do today? And that's your human design. You don't have to overthink it. Human design is the description of you and how you, your soul, came to do life in the meat suit that you are currently listening to this episode in. It's not rocket science. It has 3 main pieces that will describe how you go about living the day, going out your door, as well as where you interact in your home and your humans in your life. And I think it's so important that we have another tool to better understand ourselves. Why wouldn't we want to know this information? Whether or not that we think that it's actually real or not. You can throw it out with the baby in the bathwater if you want to. It doesn't matter. To me, it makes things seem a little bit simpler, that it doesn't have to be so complicated, and that we can return to something when our world feels like it's falling apart. That gives us the ground on, this is who I am, this is me, and why don't I stick to this, as opposed to trying to listen to everybody else on how to get through your New Year's resolutions, when you're going to lose 10 pounds, how you're going to get the next job, when you're going to meet your husband, all of these things. I needed to just make sure that you knew that one more time before putting this podcast somewhat on pause. We have come to the self-reflection piece because we are trying to keep this wrap up not too long. From Halloween and the Blue Jays Seattle series to the Blue Jays not winning Game 7, essentially November to now, I have worked a lot. Another reason why we're putting the podcast to the side. I feel like I've got lots of beautiful clients right now, and I need to fully have my attention on them each part of the day of the week. Whereas when I'm on my downtime trying to edit podcasts and think about how I'm going to take over the internet, it doesn't feel important right now. What feels important is the day-to-day tasks of my life, which is coaching everyone on how to do a dead bug properly. November to December 21st has let me have some fun. It has let me just see where to focus my energy. And in a place where I know that my life feels that much more fulfilled. If you go back to my very first episode, I talk about checking the boxes in my life. or how humans can think that they're on a certain timeline and they should achieve certain things by a certain time in their life. If their own self fulfillment, if their own internal happiness does not feel turned on or checked, then what's the point? I've definitely had a reaffirmation of what I'm hoping for. I've been surprised. I've been very pleased with my own intuition, with listening to my own gut and really saying things when I need to say things sooner. I've had to also step back. I've also had to be a little bit more in the surrender to my own life, its own timing. I had one light bulb moment as to something that I am working on going into the last few days of 2025 and into 2026. I'm not someone who sets New Year's resolutions anymore. I tried doing the grape challenge, if anybody knows what the grape challenge is, on New Year's of 2024 into 2025. I didn't eat 3 of the grapes. To side note, you're supposed to make 12 wishes and eat 12 grapes in the first minute of the new year. Fuck, that's a lot of grapes. That's a lot of fucking grapes in a minute, let me tell you. I didn't finish 3 of them, and where I was at the beginning of 2025 is very different from the end. I'm grateful for every chapter that happened throughout this year. Back to my I don't set New Year's resolutions. It's not that I don't believe in them. I don't not believe in setting goals. I've got lots of goals. One, my design operates differently with them. And it's taken time, and my perfectionist tendencies and desire to take hold of my life and provide for myself. So we've relaxed on those. What I am carrying with me right now and what I've learned in my life and experienced with keeping some things more close to my chest right now, the thing that I'm actually afraid of, or that I'm actually just piecing together for myself, is something that I'm learning and stepping into, as opposed to giving it this afraidness, as I want to reword it for myself and show you that even in this moment, I'm creating a process for myself in my life that is fearless. I want to let go enough of my own desire to know what's going to happen in my life. I want to let go and let the universe show me and my energy show me where to go. This is something I'm stepping into more and more. This is something that from November to now, I have relearned every single week, every single day, with my own hormones, with the people that are reflecting back to me in my life, similar themes. And something that's very particular to my design that is actually one of the, when I think about it, most beautiful parts of my energy is that all I have to do in my life is my life purpose described through my human design. All I have to do is talk about what I'm excited about day to day. Doesn't matter. I could be talking about my new coffee obsession, or that I put up my Christmas tree, or that I went on this date, whatever. The more I talk about these things, the more things that will come up to me and be presented that are way better than I imagined. Way bigger and more beautiful. When you also look at the timing of astrology in my life, my own personal reflection from November to now, holy shit, it don't lie, folks. It does not lie. The thing that I'm stepping into, that I encourage you to fearlessly fall into the unknown and let the universe and your energy show you what to focus on. Because if we do that, then we're going to receive even more than we ever thought possible. and showing someone and showing the world who you are fearlessly from the beginning is where I'm at, what's happening. If you've listened to these seasons enough, I do go deep on my personal life in certain respects. And I'm very proud of that. But because I have still such an unknown for where I'm at in this moment today, and I've spoken so much about it, I'm going to let the universe show me what to do as opposed to me speaking it into fruition in this moment. I cannot wait to come back with new ideas, new perspectives by the time that the spring equinox rolls around in March, roughly, of 2026. I know I'm going to be doing a couple courses going into 2026. We're getting more in tapped with our intuition on psychic abilities. I'm super excited about this. Who knows where the podcast is going to go next? I've got some other things to focus on right now, but if you have any ideas and want to reach out to me in any way, please shoot them in a comment. Please shoot them in a DM. I'd be more than pleased. If you need a human design reading and want to figure out what the hell this thing is still, shoot me a message. But at the end of this season, at the end of 2025, I thank you for listening. I wish you every blessing and new beginning with this winter solstice. And remember that you are fearless.